Hi everyone, welcome back to NeuroSask. This is a pre-recorded active version of a stretching class. So please make sure that this is a class that you've done after a different class, or if you haven't already been warmed up from one of the classes we've done, please feel free to see one of those other classes for our warm-ups. They're nice and gentle and will only take you a few minutes. We want to make sure we're not stretching on any cold muscles. So my name is Melanie, and I'm a physical therapist in Saskatoon, and I'm the one that have been leading all of our NeuroSask classes for the last few months. So we're going to work on a general full body stretch here today, starting at our head and going right down to our feet. If you're able to have something with you, bring yourself out a strap. This might be a belt, this might be a rope tie, maybe it's a rolled up towel, or maybe you have some assistance with some of these exercises if you have a care partner, someone who can help you with these activities. Make sure that you are protecting your joints as you're moving. We're not looking for anything painful. The stretching shouldn't be painful. So if you're finding something that doesn't feel right, reset, check back in with yourself, and find a modification that is going to work for your body. So in the stretching class, we're looking to work with some of the spasticity people might find who have MS or other neurological conditions to either maintain or improve our range of motion, to help our body recover after exercise, to help us cool down, or maybe you're using this stretching program as some relaxation and to help with things maybe in your evenings before bed. So have some water beside you. Feel free to grab that, take breaks. Think about some deep breathing as we go. So you may want to close your eyes and just listen to the sound of my voice after you've found the stretch. Please make sure you're being safe. If you're seated on a chair, make sure your brakes are on, it's a sturdy chair, and that you're not going to come off the side as we're working. Not all of these exercises will be appropriate for every person, so please take what is the best for you or what is necessary for your body today. All right, so since you've already warmed up with me, or maybe you've done one of our other programs, we're going to start right into our stretching. So having our feet nice and wide, you may want a chair with a backrest so you can be well supported here. We are going to be bringing our ear toward our shoulder. So if this feels like enough of a stretch through the side of your neck, you can stay right there. Otherwise, you can take your palm, press it down toward the ground. Or maybe you even want to gently place your hand behind your back. So each of these stretches as we sit here, we're going to do for about 45 seconds. If I can find my timer. There we are. So you may find you want to hold these stretches for a little bit longer, and that's just fine. And if you're finding 45 seconds feels a little bit long for you, or you're not able to relax into the stretch, you can make that a little bit shorter as well. Thinking about those nice deep breaths. Should be finding a stretch through the side of our neck right now. I'm bringing my ear toward my shoulder. We will work through both sides of our body. And you may want to close your eyes, focus on your breathing. Then we're going to take our nose and turn it down toward our armpit. So we're still on the same side. But you should notice a little bit of a change in your stretch from along the side of your neck to around the back. If you just need a little bit more of a stretch than is being provided by body weight here, you can take your hand gently on the top of your head. Again, those nice deep breaths while we're here. Let's slowly bring ourselves back up to the middle. We're changing side. So taking your ear over toward the opposite side, you may want to press your hand away from you. We're looking for a stretch down the side of our neck. Nice deep breaths in and out. Again, nothing should be painful. Just looking for a gentle stretch and some relaxation. If you're someone who suffers from spasticity, spasticity is speed dependent, so make sure you are moving very slowly into these positions, and you may want to hold them a little bit longer than we are today. Let's take our nose, turn it toward the armpit. You should notice the stretch comes around a little bit more to the back of our neck. And if you need just a little bit extra, the hands coming onto the head. Still sitting up nice and tall. Nice deep breaths in and out. Just trying to use our time here to be present. And let's come back in the middle. All right, placing our hands right on our lap, we're going to start to move down the chain, either reaching your arms straight up or your hand behind your head. We're going to widen our feet for balance if you're able to do so, and then gently lean to the side. So we're looking for a stretch right down through the back of our arm, all the way towards your hip. Again, as you're breathing, think about that nice big breath coming into the side of your body. And again, you're always welcome to hold these longer than we are today. Take what feels right for your body. And let's bring our arm back down, and we're going to do the same on the other side. Gently taking our arm up and over, either reaching with your hand or your hand behind your head, leaning to the side. We're looking for a stretch right down the side of our body. Direct a few of those nice deep breaths into the area that is being stretched. And again, you may want to stay here longer than we are. Feel free to do so. And let's bring ourselves gently up and out. All right, we're going to place our hands just on one side, on your leg, maybe on the back of your chair. We're aiming to turn our shoulders over to one side of the room. So we're looking for gentle twists through our upper back. Still sitting up nice and tall. You can use your arms, the pressure on your chair or your leg, to help you turn a little bit further. And keep thinking about those big breaths. You might notice when you breathe out, you can turn just a little bit farther, keeping in mind nothing should be painful. And then let's take that turn right back to the other side. So gently come through the middle, turning over to the other side, hand on your knee, hand on the chair, and a gentle twist. Trying to sit up tall. You may want to think about taking a deep breath almost in through your back. And you may find as you settle into this, you may be able to come just a little bit further. It shouldn't be painful. And let's come right back to the middle. All right, we're going to take ourselves down toward the ground. So you may find you're going to start with your elbows on your knees. If that's feeling like not enough of a stretch through your back, you might bring your hands down towards your feet, resting your chest on your legs. Or maybe you're finding you're placing your hands down on the floor. And if you're getting dizzy at all in this exercise, just slowly walk yourself back up. Taking some nice deep breaths while you're forward folded here. Again, you can have your hands on your feet, or you can even have them up on your legs, and thinking about rounding our spine. Nice deep breath. You take another 5 seconds here. And then let's slowly walk ourselves back up. So you can bring your hands on your legs, walk yourself up nice and tall. We're going to lace our fingers together. So working through our upper back, I want you to press your palms away from you And try and round your shoulders like you're sticking your back out behind you. So from the side on this exercise, think about pressing back. Try and make space in between your shoulder blades. And just breathing here. Let's bring ourselves all the way up and out. So we're going to go the other way and open our chest up. If you're able to do so, you can lace your fingers behind your back and think about opening your chest toward the front of the room. If lacing your hands together is not for you, just take your arms out to the side, press them back, and think about opening through your chest. Again, can always be lacing our hands behind our back, sitting up tall, taking nice deep breaths as you work. We're going to move on down to our arms right away. And let's bring those arms right back in. All right, still sitting up nice and tall. We're going to take one arm up across our body and use your other arm to pull it in toward you. We're looking for a stretch through our shoulder. You may find that for some of you, this is one that having some assistance with can be nice. You might have someone else who can help you bring your arm across your body. Nice deep breath. Feet are still planted flat for support. And then let's take our arm back down, bring the other one across your body. So pulling it right in towards your chest, looking for stretch right down through the side of our shoulder. Again, you can close your eyes while you work. Make sure you're present with what you're doing here. Get yourself in the mind space of deep breathing, of clearing out all of the clutter in our brains, not focusing on what else you need to be doing. Let's bring our arms right back down. We're going to work on bringing our palms together right in front of you. Keeping the heels of your hands together, we're gently going to press down. So we're looking for a stretch through the undersides of our arms. If you're finding that this stretch is working well for you, stay right here. If you need a different way to stretch this muscle group, you can bring your palm forward in front of you, keeping your elbows straight. It's another option here. And still breathing. Again, you might find that you can press your hands down just a little bit lower. Fingers are together. Maybe you're trying to stretch out your hands as well while we're there. All right, we're gently going to come out. We're going to bring our palm down. So working on a stretch to the top side of our arms now. Gently pulling your hand back toward you. I'm thinking about keeping my elbow as straight as I can. Okay, these are nice stretches that you might find you want to do before bed if you're finding that that's a time of the day, maybe through the evening where you're getting lots of spasms or pain through your limbs. Let's gently release that arm and do the same on the other side. So palm facing you, back of the hand facing away, and gently pulling toward you. Nice straight elbows. I'm looking for that stretch on the top side of your arms. Back to that deep breathing, clearing our mind, Just sending the focus in on what you're doing right now. And then let's bring that arm down as well. Right, we're going to come into our lower body here. So make sure you're sitting very squarely on your chair, and I'm going to get you to bring one leg up. If you're using an AFO or you're finding your legs are harder to lift, you're going to grab yourself near the ankle, bring your leg up, make sure you're protecting your joints here. Sitting up nice and tall. This might be more than enough of a stretch for some of you. It's already a lot for me. So sitting up tall, we're looking for a stretch on the side of our bent hip. You might be wanting to hold your ankle in securely. And then you're thinking about sitting tall. Maybe you can lean forward just slightly. Maybe you're like me and need to do this stretch a little bit more often. And sitting tall provides more than enough of a stretch for me. So again, it's through that bent hip, the side of our body. We're going to get a little bit of a workout for our arms in a moment here. Again, deep breathing. You can direct your breath to the area in your body if you're able to tell where you're stretching through the side of that hip. Direct your breathing there. Think about every time you breathe out, you're letting go of some of the tension or the tone or the spasms that maybe are occurring in that region. All right, while this leg is crossed, if you're looking to change your stretch just slightly, you can think about bringing your knee up toward your opposite shoulder. So I'm pulling it along this diagonal, just gently lifting up. You'll notice the stretch changes through your hips slightly. This stretch might not be for everyone. So if this isn't working for you, just stay with the stretch we were just at and just lean forward slightly more. Still sitting tall, slow breaths. Maybe you're closing your eyes as you work. These stretches shouldn't be painful, but just an awareness of what muscle group is being stretched. And then we're going to gently and carefully take that leg and set it back down on the ground. Let's do the same over on the other side, maybe grabbing your pant leg or your AFO, pulling your leg up across your body, holding on near the ankle, protecting our joints. Sit up tall. And again, if that is a stretch through your hip already, stay right there. If not, leaning forward from your hips slightly will help you find the stretch. We're trying to avoid rounding through our back down toward our toes. The taller you can be, the easier it is to find the stretch through your hip. Again, you can always be holding these longer than I am, especially through our lower body for those of you who might need to spend a little bit more time on some muscle groups which are a little more stiff or a little bit more spastic. All right, let's take that knee, thinking about bringing it over toward our opposite shoulder, changing the stretch just slightly through our hip. And if this is feeling like a little bit too much for you, or this isn't possible to hold your leg in this position, stay at the last stretch right where we were. And sitting up nice and tall, deep breath. Take 2 more breaths here before we move ourselves along. All right, gently bring that leg back down, again protecting your knees. Place your foot back on the floor. And if this is an option for you, we're going to work on the front of our hips. If this is not an option for you sitting on the chair here, please don't attempt this one. So we're going to turn ourselves to the side of our chair. I'm going to take my leg on the outside of the chair and place it back behind. You may find you can do this by taking your foot and stepping it back if you need a little bit of help here. Toes are flat on. I'm thinking about sitting up nice and tall. So from here, you can take that front hip and think about pressing it forward. We're looking for a stretch down the front of our body. Again, you can hold on to your chair for support. Make sure your sit bones are staying on your chair and they're not coming off to the side. Again, this exercise certainly isn't for everyone. There's lots of other ways to work through a stretch on the front of our hips that is not done seated on a chair. And I'm thinking about pushing my hip forward. We have someone else who's coming to help stretch here. Let's take 2 nice deep breaths here before we turn to the other side. All right, so let's gently bring our feet back in. Turn yourself on your chair. We're going to come around to the other side. So again, sit bones on the chair firmly. You can step or walk your leg back, sitting up nice and tall. We're looking for the front of our hips, so we're pushing it forward. And again, this stretch might not be for everyone. So if this isn't a safe place for you to go, or if you aren't able to actively push your hips forward, this might not be the stretch for you right now. Think about sitting nice and tall. We're using our core muscles to stay tall. Again, nice deep breaths here. And I'm still holding onto the chair for a bit of support. My sit bones are firmly on the chair. Let's take 2 more breaths here before we grab our rope, strap, or towel, whatever you've brought with you. All right, let's bring that leg back in. So you might find that you need another chair. If you don't have this rope, strap, or towel, I'm going to bring one in so you can see what that looks like. All right, so while we're working here, I'm going to be bringing in my strap. I'm going to loop it underneath my foot here, and I'm going to bring it up onto the chair. So maybe you have a leg rest that you can be working on here. So the first thing that we're thinking about doing is sitting up nice and tall, having our knees straight, and I'm going to be taking that rope or towel around the big part of my foot and just gently pulling back. So we're looking for a stretch down through our ankle all the way up our leg. You can be doing this up on a chair, or if that's too intense for you, you can be coming forward toward the edge of your chair and doing this down right on the ground. So keep in mind the chair is an option for you. I'm going to do it right on the ground here, sitting ahead, straightening my knee up nice and tall, and pulling my toes back toward me. And this is one that is really important for a lot of us, especially if you're trying to maintain your ankle mobility. It makes a very big difference when we're walking to help our toes clear the ground. The backs of our legs get a little tighter from sitting. So if you're not out in this straight-legged position or working on it, now is a good time to work toward it, aiming for a straight knee and toes pulled back toward you. And this might be one that you want to spend a little bit more time on today. We're going to move over to the other leg right away. All right, so we're gently going to bring our foot back in and then loop the band underneath your other foot. So again, underneath the biggest part about your foot, you can have your leg placed back up on the chair, or like me, I'm just going to bring it straight ahead. Think about straightening my knee, giving my toes a pull up. So looking for a stretch maybe through our calf, for lots of us through the backs of your legs. If you're able to do this here and you're finding the stretches primarily through your calf or that space just below your knee on the back of your leg, you probably want to work on the back of your thigh muscle by leaning ahead slightly. Or you can think about doing this up on the chair as well. And nice deep breaths while we're working here. Thinking about trying to breathe into the area of the stretch. Relaxation can help through the tone and spasticity, especially when you're holding that stretch for a prolonged time. One more deep breath here. And let's bring our leg all the way back in. All right, set that string aside. And one last thing that we can be working on, if you're able to work through your feet here, I'm going to encourage you just to take a shoe off if you have them on. All right, bringing that foot back up across your leg. We're going to work on our feet just a little bit here, especially on our big toes. If things are getting stiff and tight or your toes are very pointed, I want you to think about taking a hand on the ball of your foot and trying to encourage your toes to come up. So trying to encourage our feet and a stretch through our big toes. You might find you want to lace your hands between your toes to help spread them apart and get a stretch that way as well. But just working through our foot is another nice way to get the muscles of our foot and our ankle. Again, for those of you who can't see, pulling our toes up. We'll do this one on both sides, and then we've worked our way all the way from head to toe. Again, you can always lace your fingers in between your toes if you're not in socks. And then let's bring that foot back down and do the same on the other side. Bringing your leg up across your body, bringing the palm on the ball of your foot and into your toes. Make sure you're protecting your ankle, make sure you're protecting your knee. You may need some assistance with this exercise. Deep breaths. Again, you can lace your fingers between your toes. You can work on gentle circles here if you find that that settles things down for you. If that's a spastic area in your body, you may just want to sit and hold. All right, let's bring that foot back down to the ground. Gently plant it. We're just going to finish this stretching series with a couple of nice deep breaths. So I'll encourage you to close your eyes at home. Bringing your hands beside your body. We're going to lift our arms up above our head like we're making a snow angel. Take a deep breath in. Flip your palms, press down, breathe out. One more time, deep breath in. Flip your palms, breathe out. All right, thank you very much for joining me for the stretching session today. Hope everyone has a wonderful day.